Day 3, consistency. Peace and blessings, everyone, on this journey. Only in the light of death can we really know the true meaning of life. Death has a funny way of reminding us of the true valuable things in life. Our relationships, our purpose, all those things that we seem to overlook on the daily basis. Until we get that call of a death of a family member or a childhood friend or just a current friend. Till we see those flashing lights and we're put into a jail cell. Till you get any adversity that really comes up. It can be as simple as you woke up sick and you can't breathe through your nose. And now you took all those healthy days for granted now that you're sick and can't breathe and, are suffering through that. But why do we overlook these days? As long as you don't get those calls, every day's a good day. Another example is getting fired from your job, having HR pull you in there until you're no longer employed, and now you're worried about your family, how you're going to provide, and any other situation that comes up like that. But it doesn't have to always be death, like I just mentioned. It can be loss. It can just be hard times where you feel like you're feeling, but you don't really know yet, just because in the moment it sucks. But we take all the good days for granted, those days where there's not necessarily anything good happens, but all these things that we just take for granted are not happening, waking up sick or nothing bad's happening that day. But all in all, every day is a blessing. So, until you're faced with death and loss, you never really know the true value of life. And funny story is, look at the things we really relate to. The movies, the books, the stories of, victory and triumph, failure, rags to riches, overcoming. We really relate to those because in life, we're all really living this same story. But most people don't have a true use to their life. They don't have a true purpose. And that's why they feel lost, or that's why they let little things like getting laid off affect them, not knowing that God always has something better in store for you. And in that moment, it might suck. And it might even be a drought. It might be a big season. It might not be a week. It might be a year of you living a hard life, facing hard circumstances, being broke, feeling lonely. But there's a purpose for everything. And if you don't give up, you'll receive that. God has a promise for all of us. And if you don't believe in God, the universe has promises for you. You get what you give. And in my case, you can't outgive God. So as long as you're doing and trying to do good things, good's going to come back to you. And you just can't give up. You got to push through and better days will come. So all in all is try to take every day, as another opportunity to be the best you can, physically, mentally, financially, relationally, spiritually, and don't forget that bad days will come, but not to overlook them. That's part of your story. That's part of your movie that you're creating. And too many people want to know what's going to happen, or they want to receive recognition. They want to receive credits. But one thing we know, what happens when you go to the movie theater or you're watching a movie at home? The credits don't play to the end of the movie. Also, you have to allow the full, everything in the movie to play out. You don't go to the movies and just tell them to fast forward to the last 5 minutes just so you can see how it ends. No, you want to see the beginning, you want to see the plot, you want to see the setting, you want to see all the characters, the character development. You want to learn that and enjoy it. And that's the same thing in your life, except for in real life, you are the main character and you get to dictate what happens. Granted, there are things outside of your control, but know that, like I said, God's not going to let you down. God's going to put the right people, the right opportunities in your life. You just have to accept it. You have to see it, and you have to know when the bad comes that only better is coming down the line. So you have to figure out in your movie, what will it look like? What will you do with the use of the time God has allowed you, whether that's 30 years, whether that's 60 years, whether that's 90 years? We don't know when our last day on this earth is going to be. We don't know how our movie in life is going to be. We don't know who the adversaries are going to be, the evil people. We don't know what bad's going to come. All we know is the mindset we're going to have and what we're willing to do to overcome it. And truthfully, not everybody's going to be a champion in their movie, because some people don't. So you decide. At the end of your movie, will we be laughing at the lazy person who failed, or will we be cheering on the champion? Peace and blessings on the journey.